I'm sorry to tell you this, but this is also politics. It's the climate activism is deeply entrenched in politics, my friend. Greta Thunberg. We're talking about Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg on stage interrupted, but stoically. You go, girl, is the caption of this. She was interrupted by somebody during a speech. This was already a little while ago, on the 12th of November. This was posted. She was giving a speech during a climate protest, climate action now thing. This is basically the talking point. Zeppo summed it up pretty well already. No politics on climate protests allowed. God damn it, keep your politics out of my climate protests, which makes my blood boil, honestly, though. Like, brother, this is politics, dude. Anyway.
Listening. The people in power have not been listening.
I come here for a climate demonstration, not a political view.
I come here for a climate demonstration, not a political view or something. Not your political view. I'm sorry to tell you this, but this is also politics. It's the climate activism is deeply entrenched in politics, my friend. Like, what? What? Would you be? Yeah, I would be interested in also doing some Belgian politics at some point. Yes, I would like to. Demonstrate me the climate. Show me a demo of snow. This is a very contradictory statement, says Aiden. I agree. And most people don't agree with this guy. And she's handling it well. She's handling it very well. I mean, yeah, the bombing has no effect on the climate crisis, I'm sure. The United States spending all of their money on helping Israel bomb Gaza is definitely wouldn't be better spent trying to fight climate change. Oh, climate change? Trying to be, like, eco-friendly? That would be too expensive. We can't do that. We can, however, send shit tons of money in the form of weapons for Israel. That is very possible. We can totally do that. No worries, you guys. Like, all right. And I mean, what did this dude think climate justice means? I really do not know. And sorry that climate activists are just almost always left-wing and care about other political issues as well. Like, yes, if you run with the climate activists, you're gonna have to expect that there's that the general sentiment is left-leaning. What the hell? Yeah, she has dealt with so much. Yeah, it's like, Greta, when you talk about uncomfortable things, then we're not here for politics anymore. We just want to be, like, apolitical for the climate. That's not a thing.
Calm down.
Yeah, she's just telling him to calm down. Yeah, climate is politics, somebody shouted from the crowd. Yeah, it is.
Climate justice on occupied land. No climate justice on occupied land.
Yeah, that's the deal. There's like a part 2, but I mean, the thing that's happened, we've already seen. They dealt with it very well. They took him off stage and everything. That's fine. We want to feel like the good guys. Greta, stop telling us not to bomb Palestine, you know? That's so crazy. That's a crazy thing to mention in this context. Yeah, she's used to these things. She knows how to deal with it well. I agree with that too. Props to the people going out there and doing this. There's been so much criticism against her by German media. Oops, my bad. I scrolled up instead of clicking on the link. Oh no, sorry. German media fucking hates her for this because German media is vehemently pro-Israel. Why is this man's face over here? What the fuck is that? What is this? Can you please remove this? I don't like this. I don't want to see this. She still looks very young, but she's 20 or something now. I think she's 20 or something. Something like that. Yeah, also fair point. Israel's not gonna build solar panels in Gaza after taking it over. Nope, that too. Like, Israel doesn't give a shit about climate justice either. So Antio says it reminds me of the whole of the whole conservative crowd going, she's 15, she can't consent to sex, so she shouldn't do politics. Yeah, they either demean her because she's too young, and now they sexualize her because she's and they sexualized her back then too because she's a woman. Obviously, she's female, so that will happen. And then now they also hate on her for being too old. Wait, I can tell you. Greta Thunberg. I'm sure that will be fine. She's 20. Yep, she's 20 now. She's 20 years old now. Yeah, 20-year-olds look like that. Yep. 20-year-olds are pretty young, you know? Like, just 20. They're babies, too. We're the same age. You're a baby, too. It's mostly some weirdos on Twitter, but it was said. Yeah, they do. American government has been neglecting a lot of sectors, you know? It's not... they've been spending their money in a lot of funky ways that I think they shouldn't, but, you know. I want you to be English, please, because this one is called Greta Thunberg and the Left's Deep Hatred of Jews. I think, Wolfram, I think that's not real. I hate to tell you this, but I really think that this is not real, my friend. I think I know a group that hates the Jews more in Germany. I know a group, and they're not on the left. I would go out on a limb here and say that. Yeah, it's the left that hates them. Definitely no right-wingers that are, like, anti-Semitic in Germany. No way. She was the global icon for the climate movement, but now she's loudly inciting against hate, I guess, against Israel. Many of her admirers are horrified, but there's also applause in the left-wing ecological milieu. The Thunberg scandal shows that there is a major anti-Semitism problem in the political cosmos on the left. It doesn't. It does not. Anti-Zionists are absolutely way less of a problem when we're talking anti-Semitism than the fucking right, dude. Yeah. Like, the Christian Zionists that fund Israel. When you speak out against them, you're obviously anti-Semitic. That makes a lot of sense. Vosh talked about this too. That's good. She was an icon for climate movement, but now she's based on the Israel-Palestine issue as well. It's crazy. Yeah, criticizing anything done by Netanyahu is obviously anti-Semitism because, you know, Netanyahu is so great when it comes to talking about Jewish issues like the Holocaust because he's so good at that. Jesus. I think he's saying a little thing that I like to call not true. Yeah, he's just saying shit. Yeah, basically, she's because she says free Palestine, they say she's anti-Semitic. Welcome to Germany. That's how the German press is. Literally, that's how it is. Germany is so cooked, bro. It's actually so sad. And this whole discourse is in the context of a country where the anti-Semitic Nazi shootings in Halle happened. Yep, like actual Nazis are like out there, they're on their little demonstrations every Monday in the city. And they can do that, and they're not being, like, hounded nearly as much as anybody who says they're pro-Palestine. With a Palestinian scarf around her neck, Greta Thunberg once again carried out anti-Israel activism in front of 85,000 people in Amsterdam. She shouted to the crowd that the climate movement had a duty to listen to the voices of those who are oppressed. I agree. Then Thunberg gave the microphone to Sarah Rachdan, also in the Palestinian scarf, who claimed that Israel was committing genocide in my country. It is. Rachdan is known for celebrating Hamas's attacks on Israel and admiring terrorists and trivializing the Holocaust. I have tried my best to find the source for this, by the way. I've really tried. I've went to Google, I went through her Instagram like a little stalker, went through Rachdan's Instagram and everything, couldn't find any of it. So, like, a source would have been huge in this one. Yeah, like, Caliban said he couldn't find anything either, so it's like, okay, sources trust me, bro. Like, just link it. You can link it. There's links in the article. You're linking to a different demonstration. You could provide a source. That would be nice. Evan also said, I've seen someone say to someone pro-Palestine they were being racist when the Jews in Israel, so many are white, the Arab people aren't on that side, bestie. Yeah, like, racism is not the right call to make there, but, you know, they got it. They figured it out. Only pieces of her on her by mostly right-wing and other conservative publications. Yeah, like, nothing trustworthy I couldn't find anything either. Many participants in the demonstration reacted indignantly. One man even jumped onto the stage. Honestly, I don't know if many is true. like source of the crowd, from the source of the crowd, you know what I mean, from the like reaction of the crowd, it didn't sound like it. One man even jumped onto the stage in front of the cameras and shouted into the microphone, "I came here for climate demonstration, not to hear political views." Again, the craziest thing anyone has ever said. I can't. It's so funny, but it's also so sad. Thunberg countered the man's appearance by chanting "No climate justice on occupied land." Well, after getting him off of the stage and saying he should calm down. We should add my sources that I made it the fuck up as a soundbite. People can redeem for points. Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, Israel tries very hard to make people think Zionism equals all Jewish people. Yeah, but it's just not the case. We've seen this many times. We've seen this many, many times. You know you've lost in the argument when you pull the race, sexist, or phobia card. It depends a tiny bit, but yeah, like the way Israel is doing it, 100%. Thunberg had no words of sympathy or even protest after the massacres of more than 1,200 Israeli civilians. Instead, she immediately expressed solidarity with the Palestinians. I feel like it wasn't super immediate. Not that like super duper matters, but like it wasn't like on the day of the Hamas attack that she expressed solidarity with the Palestinians. But you know, 2 weeks ago she had herself photographed. Yeah, that was the first time she spoke about it. 2 weeks ago, that was, I think that was the first time she spoke about it. So that was way after the Hamas attack in Israel and quite like a while into the genocide in Gaza, you know? Yeah, she had herself photographed with fellow activists who were demanding a free Palestine and who were carrying a stuffed octopus. God, shut up! A classic anti-Semitic symbol widely used by the Nazis for the Jews' alleged world domination. It was a little plushie of an octopus that had nothing to do with this. Yeah, you mean it in this context. Yeah, that's right. Fuck off with the octopus. I'm so done with hearing about the octopus. Like, literally, it's a very well-known, like, toy that autistic people like to use to express their emotion because one side is happy and the other side is mad, and you can, like, flip it around and, like, put it there. I know so many people, even, like, non-autistic people, too, who just have that fucking octopus. Like, so many have this octopus. And she literally acknowledged that, too, and took the photo down. She was like, oh, sorry, I did, you know, like, I don't mean any anti-Semitism. She spoke out against the anti-Semitism. An actual anti-Semite wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that. She then shared posts denouncing the alleged genocide in Gaza and calling for the annihilation of Israel under the slogan "From the river to the sea." Shut up, dude. Sorry, it's so annoying. That's not what this means. That is not calling for the annihilation of Israel. From the river to the sea does not equate one-on-one to the annihilation of Israel. Just because some people like to interpret the slogan this way. I watched the entire Hassan Ethan debate on this, and it's tiring. You cannot convince people otherwise. You just can't. Like, bro, people in Germany are literally allowed to go around wearing SS Nazi tattoos and runes and shit, but Greta gets cancelled over an octopus. And in Bavaria, you can go to fucking jail for From the River to the Sea. However, nothing is heard about Hamas's rockets attacks and terrorist attacks. But did they condemn Hamas, though? Did they condemn Hamas? The octopus was one symbol used to like demonize Jewish people from like Nazi propaganda back then, but like you don't just know. Crow also said so. Okay, Crow also explained it. Yeah, like Aiden has one, his little siblings have one, the older sibling has one. Yeah. The president of the German Israeli Society and the Green Party politician Volker Beck described Thunberg's comment as the end of Greta Thunberg as a climate activist. Why? Why would it be the end of her as a climate activist? Climate activists are very well known for being like concerned with more than a single issue. Almost at the same time, GG's to us, GG's to you. I know 2 people in my vicinity that are full of Nazi tattoos, and I can't do shit about it because everything except the swastika is all right, apparently. Yeah, same. I think I've told you about this before. There's a guy that walked around at my local Kaufland. He had on his bald ass head, his entire head was covered by the black sun. You know, casually. She is from now on a full-time hater of Israel. Based. Former Green Party leaders Simone Peter writes, how bitter that she has completely discredited herself with her stance on Israel. I think she has won so many more. Like, Greta just gets more and more based every single time. Just continuously. Yeah, she isn't anti-Semitic. She said as much. And, like, duh. We know this. Green Bundestag member Marlene Schönberg is also disappointed. Greta is no longer a role model. I think Greta is a great role model, especially because of this. Especially because she doesn't back down from it. No. Based 15-year-old, that's actually 20 years old. Yeah, every time Greta gets into the news, I see her as more and more based. Me too. Also, I hate that our Green Party sucks so much ass in this whole thing. Like, I'm still gonna vote for them because you gotta vote for one of them, and every single one of them has this stance, but it sure does suck. Luisa Neubauer at a distance, that's like our climate, that's our climate person. Many climate and environmental activists are alienated and horrified by Thunberg's loud anti-Semitism. It is not anti-Semitism. She specifically said she doesn't want to be anti-Semitic. She would never be anti-Semitic. I'm sorry. Seppo's the only good one of the Green Party. You're the only good one. I'll go vote for you specifically, which I definitely can do in my spot. Yeah, especially in Thüringen, where they're at like 4% currently. They really shouldn't fall out of the parliament here. Yeah, honestly, right? Like, I'm trying. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do voter fraud. No, I'm kidding. YouTube, Twitch, I'm kidding. Thunberg became famous 5 years ago through the images of a worried girl who tirelessly protested against climate change with a cardboard box in her hand. She gave the youth movement she triggered visibility and the myth of youth innocence. Yeah, that's kind of weird now that you say it like that, but yeah, I guess that's true. Thunberg's iconography began to crack when it became known that Thunberg was running all sorts of lucrative PR deals with her father. Is that so? Is written by the same person. I feel like this guy just really hates Greta. I don't know. It's just like an idea. Yeah. You chat union stare at that sentence. It's like, okay. Also, I think PR for climate justice is not like a bad idea, honestly. More PR for climate justice sounds like a good thing. It does kind of read like a conspiracy, though. And the fact that it links to another article by the same guy, I'm like, okay, don't you have like a different source than yourself? Her ruthless rhetoric, how dare you, also annihilated, I wish it annihilated some, also alienated some, while others were annoyed by the false staging of photos. Like, another article by him? Does he talk about anyone but Greta Thunberg? Also, which photos? This photo? Everybody sits on the floor in the train, I don't know. Source, it's me, once again. Like, would she have been able to get a seat on the train? But, like, we always sit on the floor in the train. I don't believe that. I feel like it's a bit far-fetched to claim that you would be able to get a seat on a German train, honestly. It's a bit far-fetched, just based on logic. Anyway, but her demonstrative anti-Israel course, Thunberg is losing sympathy and credibility on a massive scale. With people you don't want sympathy and credibility from anyway, in my honest opinion. Also, like, her rhetoric is absolutely appropriate for what's at stake, once again. Of course they criticize her for making money. Yeah, that's her life's work. Of course she's going to try and live off of it. Yeah, like, I don't think that she's, like, the corrupt, evil somehow... That she's, like, making crazy profit from this and is living, like, this luxurious and hypocritical lifestyle. It's just, like, the same argument people put against, like, streamers who sustain themselves off of their streaming, but they are, like, communists and they're like, anti-bourgeois or whatever. Hating for making profit for what she is fighting for makes sense to me. Do you mean his point or my point? Like, I think it makes sense for her to be able to, like, sustain herself. Okay, good, Wolfie, I agree, yeah. I feel like she has the right to make a profit off of it. I think so, too. It's obvious that a lot of things are falling apart, says Luisa Neubauer, who's, you know, the most prominent activist of Fridays for Future in Germany, distancing herself. Because she's also been brainwashed by the propaganda in Germany. It's not surprising. They are trying really hard to make us love Israel. We now have to see with whom we can work. We can find a working basis on common values and where that should be. She told the Zeit. I meant yours, not his. Yeah, it's okay. It was worded a bit, but that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, like she can't spend her full life doing this if she can't gain money and live off of it. Exactly. But there are not only critics. Thunberg is literally dividing the climate movement. Good, in that case. I don't want to be in the same movement with Zionists, I'm sorry. Because in a considerable part of the left-wing ecological scene, she gets applause, including at the demonstration in Amsterdam, which we heard. Hatred of Israel is definitely rooted in the international climate movement. Yeah, for good reason. Israel is a fascist state. They're kind of against that, so it kind of makes sense. Recently, posts by the International Fridays for Future movement on social media bear frightening evidence of this. Left-wing anti-Semitism is fed by unreflected post-colonialism. It's not anti-Semitism. Criticism of globalization and anti-capitalism. Israel is stigmatized as the stooge of the USA, powers of capital, in a kind of bonsai anti-Americanism. I'll tell you this much. I don't think it's unfounded. I think it makes a lot of sense to be very critical of Israel. We know this. Frightening evidence of support for Palestine. This fucking sentence. Like, look at this. Like, I don't even have words for this anymore. Oh, I don't want it anymore. Wasn't this like not... Did you actually read it, though? I actually didn't read it, but... With his text on the Jewish question, I'm pretty sure that he was not anti-Semitic in this fucking text. I personally haven't read it yet either. But okay, we're going back to Marx. But the actual rules of left-wing anti-Semitism lie even deeper. Karl Marx himself provided material for sheer anti-Semitic hatred with his text on the Jewish question. Jesus Christ. What is the secular basis of Judaism? The practical need, self-interest. What is the secular cult of the Jews? The bargainer, which is his secular god. The money. Marx passages about Jews sometimes read like original text by Nazis. I haven't actually read the whole thing. I heard that it's always like miscited as something in order to paint Marx as an anti-Semite, but it's actually like if you actually read the entire thing, you'll find out that that's not true. I haven't, so I can't say, but... All right. Judaism is a general contemporary antisocial element. In the Jewish religion lies the contempt for theory, art, history, and people as ends in themselves. Even the woman is sold off. These quotes are all bad, but I would like to see them in context because, you know, I cannot judge the entire fucking book out of context. Also, what is this doing in this article? Like, why is this here? I feel like this is not really... this is a little bit of a non sequitur, but okay. I'm also not gonna be able to trust this guy who's, like, not the greatest at giving sources. God, this article is way... No, it's not that long. Okay. I was like, it's way longer than I thought it was. The criticism from Marx was subsequently adapted by generations of leftists. The KPD and the DKP warned against Jewish capital in Germany for decades, and many members of the RAF terrorists were trained in camps run by Palestinian groups in Jordan or Yemen. I feel like you're just kind of like putting a lot of things together that don't actually correlate as much as you think. It's literally the new Red Scare. Like, I would just tell you to go look at actual statistics of anti-Semitic crime and see who's leading those statistics, and then you can come back to me and tell me who has the problem with anti-Semitism in their ranks, like if it's the leftists or if it's the fucking Nazis in this country. And, surprise, it might be surprise that the statistics might shock you. That's all I'm gonna say. Do you think there's a more known German group that dislike the Jewish people? Nah, it's these ones. These are the top ones. Number one top. On February 13th, 1970, a fire was started with gasoline can in a retirement home of a Jewish community in Munich. That's horrible, and we condemn that. 7 elderly people, mostly survivors of the Holocaust, lost their lives in the house at Reichenbachstraße 27. According to research by historian Wolfgang Kraushaar, the attack was carried out by left-wing radical perpetrators of Tupamaros Munich group. Okay. After the Palestinian attack on Israeli athletes at the 1972 Olympic Games, Ulrike Meinhof wrote a paper on the strategy of anti-imperialist struggle while in custody. It's like, I see this, and like, yeah, these instances are obviously to be condemned, but that's like not what we're talking about right now. You know who treats Holocaust survivors like shit? Israel. Like, this has also this by the way, this has nothing to do with Israel. At least from what you've written down here, not a single thing to do with Israel. It's completely off topic. And like, cool, like, yeah, I see you're pulling up examples, but it has nothing to do with it. In it, she praised the taking of Jewish athletes hostages as an example, and attacked the Federal Republic of Germany for paying Israel its reparation capital and supplying weapons. Well, I mean, yeah, dude has to go back 50 years to find one example of left-wing anti-Semitic violence, also not linked to Israel at all, which is what he's trying to claim right now. Anti-Semitic GDR tradition. Yeah, let's go back to the GDR. That will definitely, like, that will be in correlation with leftism today. I feel like not even reading the end of this, honestly. Also, Evan said, and in that whole time, I'm sure no right-wing huge show of anti-Semitism happened. Right, it's like, proportionally, I'm sure they're not doing way more anti-Semitic hate crimes. No way. This reminds me of someone I saw trying to say that Hitler was left-wing. Yep, people will claim that. People will claim that, because it's like, well, wasn't the name of the party? Like, shut up. Please be silent. Fascism cannot be left-wing. Thank you very much.